bought some beef from our neighbors, and I asked for some fatty bits to render into lard. Because last year I tried to make soup out of beef lard, I think it's called tallow, and it was really nice and hard soap. So they gave me this piece. There is meat as well as fat, so I have to separate it to get really just the fat off and chop it in small pieces, sort of roughly. Yeah, they should be all of them same size. And then I will put it on the heat and have to make sure it doesn't burn and get the fat out of them. And I think this meat will be today's dinner, somehow some stew.
We've actually gotten quite a lot of questions on whether or not we're vegetarians or even vegans and stuff. Well, in the past, not so much now, but we did, and I was just kind of like, I think honestly I was nervous at first to sort of show this sort of stuff, because I know that a lot of people are a little bit, I don't want to say grossed out by it, but even I was when we first started doing that, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't really like it, I didn't, I don't know, I wasn't a huge fan of it.
Well, I understand, and we didn't eat for some time, for, you know.
Yeah, we didn't eat meat for a very long time.
The boys really got to the point, especially Alfred, that he then could see meat everywhere. He just needed meat, and after reading and listening, and thinking, surprisingly, I came to a conclusion that because of environmental reasons and health reasons, I think meat, especially when it's local grown, really best obviously on your own land or neighbors, it's much better than anything else. I think our brains are mostly fat, so if we don't give them the fat, they're not going to work properly. And I don't think that if I think about environment, traveling, I love avocados, I love bananas, we have them, but if we live on these things only, or mainly, that travel all over the world, I don't think that's much more environmentally friendly than if you grow your own meat in the garden and it just eats grass and it doesn't travel anywhere.
I tend to, for me, I've always, I mean, because we didn't eat meat for a while, and then I actually went pescatarian when you guys started eating meat, and I was pescatarian for like 2 years? 2 years or something like that, and then I did start eating meat, but for me it was a lot more, I wanted the animal to have, you know, had a happy life and stuff like that. I didn't really do it so much for like health reasons, I just cared more about the animals. But for me now it's just a lot more, if the animal had a good life, then I think it's, you know, that's
what I meat, isn't it? It's very sort of obviously funny way to say it, but it is happy meat. It you know, we try to look after our animals and give them all we can, and I love our animals, and it's not easy to go and kill them. But
we
on
had
the other side, I think it's a responsibility.
You should tell them about Gilbert.
Yeah, that was my first. We had like a pygmy goat, kind of. So there was small goat. We had a boy. Well, I was thinking, let's have a goat, and then I thought, no, where we were before, that's not a good really idea.
We lived in a small rented place, but it had a garden.
Sharing the garden with other people, and and I thought, actually, it's not a good idea. But I said to one of my friends, neighbors, I was thinking of getting a goat, but I changed my mind. Well, her husband in about a week said, I'm bringing you a goat. And I thought, okay, I'm definitely not ready for that, but well, let's go with it.
We decided we weren't going to name him because it's best not to get attached, and also he wasn't castrated or something. Like
No,
is
he
that
wasn't.
what-
He was full.
Yeah. We were told he was
Boy.
a younger goat,
Yeah,
which would
and
have
he
been
was
a bit
He wasn't
easier.
even very young.
And then the guy brings the goat, and he was a full-grown adult that wasn't even castrated. Which, if the goat's not
Definitely wasn't the
castrated,
plan.
which if the goat isn't castrated, then what the meat is very.
Well, they
potent.
smell it a bit.
It smells a bit more, and he was very loud, and we weren't gonna name him so we wouldn't get too attached to him. But then Ozzy met the goat and decided, oh, why don't we call the goat Gilbert? And that's how
that was it.
that's how the goat became
And because he
Gilbert.
was alone, lonely, even though he was with chickens and rabbits, obviously that wasn't his
his
kind.
yeah.
So we said, okay, maybe we are supposed to have a goat. So we got him a girlfriend.
We got him a girlfriend, and
And we thought, okay, we will have at least some meat. We'll have babies.
She was called Mary, but she wouldn't let Gilbert.
No, that she was young.
She was a young goat.
And he was becoming really, really friendly, and then he was becoming overly friendly with me, especially. So when I went to feed our animals, it was horrible because I had to look for Gilbert if he's not kind of attacking me, or if Cockerel is not attacking me. So I always
Gilbert wouldn't attack. He would.
Yeah, he was. Well, he not attack in a bad way, but it was painful.
He would try to play, and it wasn't playful. It was painful. Yeah.
So after a little while, and because, yeah, as I said, where we were, there wasn't really enough space and everything.
You guys had to take him on walks so he could have grass.
Yeah, which was fine, but just wasn't. I just felt we can't give them what they need. They need more space, and I can't give them that, and so, and I think then we were just didn't work. So we decided to
do the deed.
So to do the deed. So we sold Mary, and we found local man who was willing, because Gilbert was, as I said, wasn't young, very young.
He was a big boy.
Then we decided, well, let's at least have some experience and some meat. So he slaughtered him for us, and it was horrible experience because we had to lead him throughout the village, which was 10-15 minutes walk with him, and he was walking on a lead, and he was walking beautifully, and he so trusted me. It was really hard. And when we came to the man who was really nice and really helpful, and he did, I was very grateful for him. The moment of the killing was really hard. It was hard, that split second that the animal becomes meat. It was really hard. Really hard. And but I learned a lot. Even though it was small goat, very often, until then actually, I didn't realize how much work it is. It's not just bringing up the animal and feeding it and looking after it. But after it's killed, there is so much to do. So much meat to process. You have to deal with the skin, you have to deal with the insides, you have to deal with the, with everything, with the head, with everything. And as I said, even though it was small goat, it took me a few days to really process it all. And so now when my husband says, oh, let's have big pigs and let's have big this, and I'm thinking,
it's
who will do it? Who will?
That's one thing. Mum is basically our butcher, because I haven't done any of the killing because I really can't stand it personally. I'm basically a wuss. I can't deal with it.
She's cook.
So I'm the cook. Yeah, I cook with the meat. She butchers. Ozzy's helped. Alfred has helped, and Dad's helped. But it's mainly
butchering just chickens and rabbits.
Yeah. But otherwise, when you were doing Gilbert, Ozzy helped a little bit
he did.
With portioning the meat and everything. Otherwise, I can't do the killing. I tried to be there when you were doing chickens that first time, but I just couldn't look, so I didn't. help out or anything, but yeah.
I would say I am lucky in that I have some kind of gift is not the right word, but I can sort of shift myself from the fact that I was bringing up the animal and I was feeding it and, you know, talking to it and looking after it. And obviously there is some attachment, but it's impossible not to, especially when you have just few of them. But when I need to process the animal, I will just push that away and I will focus on the sort of technical part, what I need to do so it all goes well, nobody suffers and the job is done. And that helps me a lot. Otherwise I don't think I could do it if I wasn't able to just push the emotional part away. And then we have Ozzy, who is brilliant because after every killing he will go and he will make like little, what's the word?
Funeral.
Like little funeral, like little
Memorial.
Yeah, little sort of speech and thanking the animals and so we have it covered here. Everybody does that part.
Oh, you know what's funny? This is a little off subject, but somebody was asking whether or not we're gonna be getting sheep, and I said we might do it at some point, but the plan is to get pigs when it's warmer. And then I think someone was asking what other animals, and I said I think we'd like to get ducks for slugs. Yeah. And the person got really confused and was like, "Why would you want to get ducks for slugs?" Like, you know, they assumed it was like the ducks bring slugs to your garden. And I told them afterwards, but aren't they runner? Aren't they?
Chinese.
So we would possibly like to get runner ducks at some point because they deal with slugs. They eat them.
Yeah, I definitely want sheep. I don't know if I am brave enough to have them like overwintering the first season we're here. So maybe we will have just one literally for meat from spring to autumn and then get a new one. But I would like to have eventually my own little herd of sheep that would have babies, and that would be nice. We also need to find out how the land is, how wet it is, because
there's a little stream.
Now it's lots of water everywhere. Well, now it's everything frozen, but it's very wet. And but the neighbors told me that like 2 years ago there was barely any rain or anything, that they couldn't really do any hay. So we have to learn all this.
Get to know the land.
Yeah.
Is this safe? Like save this?
Hello. It is evening right now as I am doing this voice recording. But in the video, at this point, the meat that Mum was separating from the fat to then turn into lard, that meat was turned into dinner this day, and I made like a stew sort of thing with it, and thought I would just add that into the video because I thought it was quite, it's just nice, because I think that if you're sort of living this life and when you're butchering your own animals and you have your own animals, then I think it's very important to use everything from the animal. For instance, when we used to live in England, we would buy meat from a farm, and the farm, we bought a lot of pork from them because they had a lot of pigs and they sold a lot of pork, but they didn't really use that much from the pig. They threw away quite a lot of it. And for instance, we would buy sort of pig cheeks from them. They were throwing them out and they weren't using them. And the pig cheeks, I know it might not sound very nice. They're very tender. They're very, very tender, and they're delicious when you have like a red wine sauce with them. And we have them with potatoes. It's really delicious. And so my point is that I think when you have your own animals, you really should use everything, or as much as you can use from the animals, so that so you don't waste what happened. You know, you don't waste the animal, you don't waste it. Obviously you can't use everything, but I think it's important to use as much as you can. But yeah, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was just sort of a sit down and talk, well, not really sit down, but like a talk with me and Mum, and like sort of our view on all of it, and I just wanted to share it because I thought it'd be nice. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.